it's your residential brickologist Lego Lee here, back with another Lego set review. Today we have the brand new Creator Expert Porsche 911 set. This set here retails for about $150 in the United States. It has 1,458 pieces, and here is a front look at your extremely sleek looking box, and there is a look at the back of the box that shows off the 2-in-1 feature of this set. Included with this set here is one very thick instruction manual which has some very brief history of Porsche and the car at the front of the manual, and there's something special about this manual in particular that I'll talk about later in the review, but in total this thing has 263 pages of building.
Naturally, performance was also a part of the 911 Turbo philosophy, but the pursuit of performance was always targeted.
There's no minifigures, there's no display stand, there's no fluff, there's no side builds, there's only the main car build with this set. So we can now finally dive in and take a closer look at this awesome looking Porsche 911 Turbo. To give you kind of a sense of scale of how large this car is, here is the Speed Champions model of the exact same vehicle from a couple years ago. As you can see, this new one from 2021 is much bigger, and here is next to the same price set the Mustang from a couple years ago as well. The Mustang is a little bit denser, as it should be. It's a bigger car in real life, but for the most part they are to scale with each other. Beginning with the front end of this model, Porsche has iconic, almost bug-like headlights, and Lego did a great job capturing them here. The very slight angle is a subtle but very effective design, and I think it paid off really well. I also love the use of this piece right here in transparent orange. That is great to see. Now for license plates, I put these ones on, but you actually get a couple of different options for license plates in these sets. I put on the German license plate because, well, it's a German car, but you do get an American New York license plate and some sort of Asian license plate as well, which is nice to see, and all of these pieces are printed. And speaking of printed pieces, every detail in the set that you see that could be a sticker is actually a printed part. That kind of took me by surprise because normally Lego makes you put stickers on for these things, but I was pleasantly shocked to see that there's all prints in this set. And perhaps the best print of them all is the iconic Porsche shield logo right here. That looks fantastic. It's definitely lacking some fine detail, but I think it works with the aesthetic of this design. And speaking of this part, you actually can lift the hood here to reveal not an engine, because Porsches are iconically rear engine vehicles, but that is a nice feature and I love the shaping here. And speaking of shaping, I mean, underneath right here, that looks great, the side looks great, all the white details really work well together. This thing just looks beautiful and incredibly sleek. Those immaculate shapes continue along the side here. The door here is nearly flawless, just a small gap right here, but that is of course so you can actually open the door, and we'll take a close look at the interior here in just a second. Also, these mirrors, they're not bad, but they feel a little bit awkward. I think they could have been made with a hinge piece or something. They look a little bit blocky to me compared to the rest of this design, but other than that, it looks great. However, there is one part of the build that I don't particularly love. The transition right here at the roof is a little chunky and doesn't quite have the curves I would like to see. Now that's a very hard thing to design with very thin pieces in Lego, and they probably did the best they could given the limitations of a Lego set. However, it doesn't look perfect, so I need to point it out. As for the roof though, I was kind of surprised to see there isn't a supernatural way just to remove it. You kind of had to remove a few different pieces, which is a little bit awkward if you ask me, but it does reveal the interior of this car. Now, in typical 1970s style car, this has a very brown aesthetic to the interior. You can see it on the side of the door right here, and especially with these chairs. It's rather minimalist looking. There's not a ton of detail, but that is accurate to the actual car itself. A very simple dashboard right there, a couple of gears inside here, and of course a steering wheel, which does actually work. If you twist the steering wheel, the front wheels will turn as well. So all of that works out really nicely. And there is a back seat, and I've ridden in the back seat of a Porsche before. It's quite small, and honestly sometimes I question why they even include it, and Lego I think does as well, because you can't really access the back seat super well. You can fold these chairs up just a bit and you can kind of see it back there, but it's pretty dimly lit and definitely limited on space. So the back seat is accurate, but definitely a forgettable detail. What's not a forgettable detail is the whole rear section of the Porsche right here. All of the shaping back here is almost flawless. It seriously looks so good from pretty much every angle. I mean, look at the transition down here. That looks incredible. I love this design right here. I believe this might be a new piece, and I definitely know right here, this is a brand new piece, and those shapes, I think, just look spectacular. I love this design as well. A small printed piece right there. All of this seriously looks oh so good, including the spoiler back here. I think this spoiler is a pretty nice design, but honestly, one of the better designs in this set, one of the better looks, is the iconic rear of the Porsche. This piece right here looks awesome. I love that print. These are also subtle prints as well, and another copy of that license plate, and you have a small exhaust pipe down here as well, and of course the turbo logo too. This look honestly just looks perfect. I think LEGO did a spectacular job with the rear of this vehicle. And of course, I already noted Porsches are famously rear engine vehicles. Let's take a close look at that rear engine right now. You can lift up this piece right here to reveal the fine details of said engine. Now, this design is a bit hard to see because of the lighting, but there are some great builds in there, some great shapes and angles, and I love the fan especially. All these details work out really well. Now, at the beginning of this review, you might have heard me mention that this is actually a 2-in-1 set, and I also mentioned there being something very special about this particular instruction manual. That's because this is a 2-in-1 set. The set I just reviewed is the turbo version, the version you see on the front of the box for this vehicle. But you can also build the Targa. Now, I was under the impression this would be a very easy fix, kind of like the Back to the Future car from LEGO Ideas way back in the day. However, that is not the case. It's pretty much an entirely different build that actually requires a whole different set of pieces. At a certain point in the instruction manual, it actually makes you make a decision where you either build the turbo or you build the Targa. I built the turbo because that's the one in the front of the box and kind of the more iconic version in my eyes, but you can also build the Targa if you want, and there's actually a completely separate bag of pieces just specifically for the Targa build that I have not opened yet. Now, would you like to see a review for the Targa? Maybe someday I will deconstruct this and build the Targa version, but as for right now, I wanted to get this review out quickly, and it's going to take way too long to do both versions. But comment down below if you'd like to see a review for the Targa version of this particular set.
The new 911 Turbo. The benchmark.
Bringing everything together, it's now time to wrap up my opinions here on this Porsche 911 Turbo set. Ever since LEGO got the Porsche license back in 2015 with the launch of the Speed Champions line, I have been clamoring for them to do a Creator Expert style car for a Porsche. I love that Creator Expert sub-theme, and Porsche, I'm honestly admitting I'm very biased, is my personal favorite car. I've loved Porsches all my life pretty much. I grew up with Porsches, and I absolutely love the brand. So I was stoked to get this set, and I think LEGO did a pretty bang up job here. Let's start off with the pros of this design. The build just downright looks really good. The shaping for pretty much the most part is nearly flawless. I love the building techniques, the colors. As a display piece, this thing looks fantastic, and it functions well too, which is nice to see. Now, there are some cons with this set. The price, $150, yeah, it's typical for this line, but it's definitely not worth $150. Also, I already kind of mentioned a couple of small flaws I have with the shaping, but admittedly my biggest issue here is the whole concept of the 2-in-1 design. I really thought you were going to be able to easily transform the two different builds of this set, but it's actually quite the complicated process, and I was definitely disappointed to see that detail kind of fall flat. So I'm not crazy about the whole 2-in-1 thing, but besides that, this is such a great looking design. I'm very happy to finally have a Porsche of this scale that's not a Technic set in my collection. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, and my final rating for this set here is going to be an 8 out of 10. Please tell me what you guys think about this set in the comment section down below. Also, while you're at it, please like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to this YouTube channel, maybe consider becoming a Patreon supporter. All of those links will be in the description below. And thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope to see you guys next time on our LEGO set reviews. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Bye-bye.